Good evening, everyone, and Merry Christmas. We're sending this video out to you for Christmas Eve 2019. Tonight, I'm going to read a very special book, my very favorite Christmas book, The Light of Christmas.
Okay, go ahead.
High in the mountains, where the clouds lie on the ground like great cotton balls, is the Christmas town of Noel. Noel is surrounded by tall, white city walls that sparkle in the sun and city gates of pure silver, striped red like candy cane sticks. In the center of town is a square where a tall Christmas tree is decorated all year long. But even more important than the tree is the great brass Christmas torch next to it. For it is here, on Christmas Eve, that the keeper of the flame comes to light the torch, bringing the brightness and warmth of Christmas to the entire world. In the hills outside of the town of Noel lived a small boy named Alexander. Every Christmas Eve, Alexander and his mother walked many miles to the town square to see the lighting of the flame. But the last few years it had been too difficult for his mother to make the long walk, and Alexander had to go alone. Only a week before Christmas, Alexander ran into their small cottage. "Have you heard, Mother? This year the keeper of the flame will choose someone new to light the torch." "Who will he choose?" "Whoever gives the truest gift of Christmas." And then Alexander frowned. "I wish that I had something special to give," he said. "I would like to light the Christmas torch." His mother put her arms around her son. "You are a good boy. I could not be more proud of you if you were the keeper of the flame himself." Early in the morning of Christmas Eve, Alexander prepared for his trip to the town square. His mother put a loaf of bread, a chunk of cheese, and a jar of hot cider in his pack, and then she bundled him up with an extra cloak as it was snowing outside. "Remember, Alexander, after the lighting of the flame, it will be late. You must spend the night in the town at the church. I will expect you back tomorrow afternoon." Alexander kissed his mother goodbye, and then he started on the long walk to Noel. After walking most of the day, Alexander could hear the bells of Noel ringing in the distance, calling the people to the square. Soon they would shut the city's great gate, and no one would be allowed inside during the lighting of the flame. Alexander walked faster. As he neared the city gate, he noticed a small bundle of cloth in the snow. "Someone had dropped their cloak," Alexander said. And then he saw that it was not just a cloak, but an old man. Alexander knelt next to the man. He took off his gloves and rubbed the man's face with his warm hands. The man's eyes slowly opened, and Alexander took the hot cider from his pack. "Here," Alexander said, "drink this. It will warm you." And the man looked at Alexander. "Who are you? An angel?" "I am Alexander." And the man smiled. "Thank you, Alexander." "I'm too small to lift you. I will get help in the city," Alexander said, and he put his extra cloak around the old man. Alexander ran through the city gates to find someone to help him, but no one would leave the square. The gates would soon close, they all said. We would miss the lighting. Then the large gates did begin to close, and Alexander looked at the beautiful tall Christmas tree and the giant torch in the square. Then back at the gate. With all his heart, he wanted to see them light the torch, but he could not leave the old man alone in the snow. He slipped out the gate just as it closed behind him. When he returned to where the old man had been, only Alexander's cloak lay in the snow. The old man was gone. Alexander picked up his cloak and he looked back at the gates. They were locked, only to be opened when the lighting was done. Already it was getting dark and it was too late to go home. He sat down next to the gate to wait, wiping back his tears. Then Alexander heard a creak, and to his surprise, the gate opened a crack. Alexander jumped to his feet and he quickly ran inside. The town square was crowded with excited people. Alexander climbed up to a small window ledge where he could see. And suddenly, from a building at the far side of the square, a large door opened and a man dressed in a beautiful cloak, lined with golden threads and precious jewels, walked from the building. A deep hush fell over the crowd. The keeper of the flame had arrived. In one hand he held a wreath, the symbol of Christmas. In the other was a small flaming torch with which the great torch would be lit. "Let the offerings begin," said the keeper. And the people of Noel lined up to give their gifts. As they laid their gifts beneath the tree, they loudly announced what they had brought. "I am Julio, the minstrel," cried one. "My gift is a Christmas song, which will gladden the hearts of many." And he played his song and then laid his pearwood lute beneath the tree. "I am Marco, the writer," cried another. "I have written a great Christmas story, which will be shared for many years to come." And he laid a book bound in red and gold leather beneath the tree. And then came the richest man in the city. "I am Maurizio, the jeweler. I have made a golden ornament for the tree." The crowd clapped when they saw the ornament. It was of pure gold, with red and green jewels, the colors of Christmas. Surely this was the best offering of the evening. After all the people had laid down their gifts, the keeper looked out into the crowd. "Are there any more offerings?" No one spoke, and Alexander looked down, sad that he had nothing to give. "Well then, I shall choose the truest gift," the keeper said, and he looked at those who stood near the tree. "You have given much," he said, "but only one of you has given well." And then the keeper looked out into the crowd. "Come, Alexander." Alexander looked around to see whom the keeper spoke to. He had given no gift. Surely there was another named Alexander, but the keeper looked right at him and smiled. "Come, my boy." As Alexander neared the square, he recognized the keeper. He was the old man in the snow. The keeper put his hands on Alexander's shoulders and looked at the others. "You all passed by me tonight lying in the snow outside the city gate. Only this boy stopped to help me. In your hurry to keep Christmas, you have forgotten Christmas." The truest gift of Christmas is the gift of self. The flame of Christmas must first burn from within. And then he handed the small torch to Alexander. "Light our Christmas, dear boy, light our Christmas." And Alexander touched the fire to the great brass torch, and it burst into a brilliant flame. And it was said ever after that never before had the flame burned so bright or so true. Isn't that a wonderful story, boys and girls? And it's kind of ironic that the lights came on in Miss Bailey's classroom as soon as the torch was lit in the story. Anyway, it's a very special story about a special boy who does something nice for someone, and he isn't so worried about material goods or giving someone a gift of a material thing. We at St. John's wish everybody a Merry Christmas. We hope that you have fun, that you take care of each other, and you treat each other kindly, and focus as much on Jesus' birth as you do on the gifts that Santa might bring to your homes. Have a great Christmas and a Happy New Year. We'll see you on January 6th.